Because this winter felt like spring due to the temperatures outside, let's go ahead and talk about a fragrance that embodies spring. And I'm talking about the different company and its perfume called the Bachmakov, which is a very, very nice, very interesting composition. This is a fragrance for those of you who love herbal accords, who love green notes in perfumery. This is a fragrance that brings two such notes to the table, and these notes become the main attraction of the whole composition. I'm talking about Frisia and Shiso. If you love Shiso, you're gonna definitely love the Bachmakov. If you love Frisia, the same goes for this one also, because these two together are the main accord of this fragrance, and everything else found in the composition is only there to assist these two ingredients. And besides Shisho and Frisia, you get nutmeg, you get musk, amber, and cedar. You also get coriander, bergamot, and fig. So, not an overly complicated composition, not a very simplistic one also. How does it smell? According to this house, to the different company, according to their marketing materials, this fragrance is supposed to smell like spring in Siberia. At the end of winter, when nature, let's say, is reborn, when the snow is starting to melt, when the rivers are starting to flow, when the colors of the environment start to change after a very long and, of course, cold winter. Presumably in Siberia, this still happens because, as I said in the beginning of this video, this winter for me felt like spring. And well, it is what it is. This is what's going on in the world right now. But let's talk about the fragrance because this is the main subject of this video. And let's talk about how it smells. Well, in the opening, you get a huge blast of green herbal notes. And I'm specifically talking about the Frisia and also the Shiso note. But they are accompanied by coriander. And afterwards, about the 10 or 15-minute mark, rises the bergamot, which comes and cleans up a bit all the greenness and all the sourness coming from the Shiso, but also from the Frisia. And afterwards also rises the cedar and also the amber combined with the nutmeg and the musk. But as I said, these notes are only there to assist the two main accords or the two main ingredients, the Frisia and the Shiso. And they come out extremely interesting. First of all, they're green, they're leafy, but at the same time, they provide you with an earthy feeling. They provide you with some earthiness, with some dampness, if you want to use this word to describe the exact feeling, and also a bit of a humid type of earthiness. I wouldn't go as far as saying aquatic because it isn't the case, but you may think about putting your hands on a Frisia and crushing it in your hands. And the juice from the plant is going down your hand. This is the appropriate feeling to describe how the Bachmakov feels on my skin, at least. I don't know on other people's skin, it doesn't concern me. I can only relate to my experience with the product. And because I've been using it for a very, very long time, I can tell you that this embodies spring. It's absolutely amazing at doing this. And I simply love it in springtime, but I do like it also in summertime. You need to get past the initial blast that lasts for about 10 minutes when it's very strong, it's very potent, it's very herbaceous, it's very green. And if you don't like green notes in perfumery, you will not get past that opening. But afterwards, it comes down, the bergamot starts to shine and comes in this whole green composition, cleanses the air, refreshes it, and then it becomes more wearable and more suitable for a lot of people. Nonetheless, it's very refreshing, it's very uplifting, and it does manage to provide you with a good feeling of happiness. Why not? Because spring is all about the rebirth of nature, therefore, it should bring a smile on everyone's face. This is a fragrance that, in my honest opinion, is best suited for a more mature audience and specifically to those of you who love green notes, to those of you who love herbal perfumes, for example, to those of you who love to smell like nature, because this smells like nature. That's why for me this fragrance is very good, especially in casual scenarios, and also for when you decide to go out with your friends, to go into nature, to take a hike and a walk and whatnot. Therefore, it's very good for this type of scenarios. I wouldn't wear this one at formal events and dressed up because it isn't for that type of scenarios. Also, I wouldn't wear this one at the office. I wouldn't wear this one in an enclosed environment, mainly because due to its greenness, it may become somewhat offending to other people around you. Therefore, it's a fragrance for your own pleasure, first and foremost, and for those scenarios when you go out with your friends, having a coffee, having, I don't know, a walk in the city or in the nature and stuff like that. This is a unisex fragrance, although you may be tempted due to the description of the composition to believe that this is a feminine type of fragrance because it contains a lot of florals and whatnot, but in reality it isn't. As I said, this fragrance emphasizes the green, herbal, earthy aspects of the ingredients, not the floral ones. And again, I'm saying that this fragrance, unfortunately, loses some points when it comes to its flexibility in terms of scenarios, in terms of occasions, and also in terms of, let's say, the type of consumers that should wear this one. If you want better alternatives in terms of performance compared to this one, although this isn't lacking in performance by any means, because you get, or at least I get on my skin, very good longevity with this one, somewhere between 8 to 10 hours. Projection and CR are moderate at best, but very strong in the beginning, the first half hour. But if you want better alternatives, and if you want a, let's say, better and more powerful Frisia note, I highly recommend you Mugler Suprafloral. There you have Frisia combined with incense, and it's simply outstanding. That's one of the best fragrances that I ever sniffed, and that one also embodies spring in a bottle. Also, if you're familiar with Ostara from the House of Penhaligons, I highly recommend it also. There you have Narcissus, therefore another somewhat identical interpretation with the Bachmakov from the different company. The main differentiation being that those two fragrances are a lot stronger and are performing a lot better. Also, they are a lot more expensive. So keep this in mind also. As always, I highly recommend you to test out the fragrance. If you have the opportunity, if you have the occasion to buy a small decant or sample, to try it out on your skin, to give it a couple of wears, to see how it performs, to see how it smells, to see how it interacts with your skin's chemistry, do it. Simply do it. Do not go and blind buy it because it might not be your cup of tea and you may end up regretting the purchase. Therefore, buy a sample, wear it, and only after you did this, based on your own conclusions, go ahead and purchase or do not purchase the fragrance, the whole bottle. This is the most important advice that I can give you. Everything else that I say represents my experience with the fragrance. Therefore, what applies to me may apply to other people, but this is not the general rule. Therefore, test it and only afterwards decide if it's worth or not your money. This is the Bachmakov, a very interesting fragrance from the house of the different company. I'm going to stop here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. And I'm going to see you in the next one. As always, my friends, be safe, be good. Peace.